We're gonna do muscle ups, muscle ups, muscle ups. We're gonna do pull-ups, dips, transitions, gymnastic words, blah 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 blah, being awkward. And let's start. Hello guys, my name is Victor, and in this video we're gonna look at the muscle up. So the muscle up, you can use rings, you can also use a bar, but I'm gonna show you with rings because I have rings and I don't have a bar. So the muscle up is exercise that contains it's a mix between a pull-up, a transition and a dip. So to practice the muscle up, we're gonna separate these three components and practice them individually and then put them together as one. So the first thing we're going to look at is the false grip. The false grip is really significant because it will allow you to come from below the rings through the transition and up through the dip without actually changing your grip at all. If you would have the normal grip, you would have to like slide up and change the grip while you do the transition and then the dip. So the false grip looks something like this. If I grab from the inside of the ring and take the top of the ring and I just pull down, then I get a grip that looks like something like this. So with the false grip, I will support the ring somewhere here. Now to get better at the false grip, the obvious way is of course to just practice it, but you can also use like a tennis ball or something. Try to have a straight arm and the back of your hand against the floor. Then you try to squeeze the tennis ball and lift as high up on your arm as you can. So this is a good way to stretch your false grip or stretch your wrist to be able to do the false grip. So you can go for repetitions and then end with a static hold. So the false grip hang will look something like this. I grab the rings and just passively hang from the rings with straight arms. And I want to be able to hang like this for at least 30 seconds, maybe even up to a minute, and be quite comfortable in this grip. If you want to, you can even do some like scapular movements if you want to. The next thing we're going to look at is the dip hold. Because when you come from underneath, you come from a pull-up, and here you can see also where the false grip is really useful, because I have the same grip when I come through the transition and up through the dip, and I didn't change my grip at all. But the dip hold, because after the transition you'll end up in this deep dip position, so you need to develop the shoulder mobility and strength in that position to be able to push yourself up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come into this deep position, get your shoulders low and try to have your elbows pointing back and see if you can just hang here. You can start with both of your feet on the floor and then gradually try to let go of one foot and then maybe both and see if you can hang in this position. And the same thing as with the false grip hang. See if you can build up time to be able to hang like this for maybe up to 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, and see how that feels. So now when we got the false grip hang, we got the dip hold, the final static position we're going to look at is when you come from the pull-up and just about to enter the transition, you need to be strong in this pull-up hold position. With your false grip also. So set the rings maybe like face high or something. Grab the ring with the false grip and walk in so that they almost touch your chest. Set your shoulder blades back and down and see if you can hang in this position. As before, you can start with your feet on the floor and then gradually let go one foot and then the other one. And see if we can hang there for up to 30 seconds. So to be able to do a muscle up, you need to be able to do a pull-up with a false grip. So to practice that, we're gonna use our legs as a bit of support. So set the rings to about face height, grab them with your false grip and squat down just below the rings. From here, you do the pull-up all the way up, touching your chest, and then slowly down. And use as much or as little support from your legs as possible. So when you're comfortable in the assisted pull-up with a false grip, you can go to just a pull-up with a false grip. So grab the rings with your false grip, start all the way from straight arms, activate your shoulder blades and pull yourself up, touching your chest, and then lower down all the way to straight arms. Now it's time to practice just the transition from the top position of the pull-up through to the bottom position of the dip, and just practice this movement. So set up as the bottom position in the pull-up. You can use your feet as support. From here, I'm gonna go through to the dip position and back. Make sure to do this really, really slow and learn this movement. So I'm touching the chest with my hands and the rings, then I'm going out a bit wider and shooting my shoulders and the head through. I will show you from the back also, sideways a bit hard because it's a bit narrow here. So I'm keeping my elbows close to my body. So once you have learned the transition, we're moving on to something called a baby muscle up, or maybe like an assisted muscle up. So we're gonna go through this assisted pull up. I have my feet on the floor. I'm doing my pull up all the way to the chest, and then I'm doing my transition, and from here you can maybe even push up in a dip, or maybe jump a bit if you have to. All the way up and then slowly down. I can touch my feet on the floor for support even on the way down. Rings come close and all the way down to here. Once again, pulling up, touching the chest, going through and push up in the dip. And all the way down. When the baby muscle up feels okay, you can increase the difficulty by decreasing the assist and support from the legs by starting in this more like a sitting position, something like this. So from here, you're going to do the exact same thing, but your legs can't help you as much, okay? So I'm pulling up, maybe here I need to use my legs a bit, and then pushing up and coming down, all the way down. We are almost there. Now we're going to look at the negative pull-up. That means we're going to start from the top, from the dip, and then lower ourselves down all the way. Very, very slow. And take it really slow in the transition part, so you don't just fall through. I will show you the difference, okay? So maybe use a chair or something to enter, or just jump up. From here, I'm lowering down to the dip, try to pause. And now I'm going to show you how it looks like if I'm just falling through, like that. So that's the part where you really need to focus from the dip and slowly lower yourself down. Let it take like 20, 30 seconds maybe even to get down. Then you're really good. Make it as slow as you can. So lowering myself down to the dip and then slowly stopping before lowering down. So super attention in the transition part. Final step, we're there. Now, if you have practiced all these steps we have been through and put in the time, put in the work, you should be closer to the muscle up than you were before. So, from straight arms. Whoop. Away. So that was the muscle up. I hope this small drills and tips and so on will help you so that you get the muscle up someday. Thanks for watching.